Now, she was granted Netanyahu not just in a previous session, but weeks before and leading up to the current crisis. She was hearing of the 9/11 vision enhancement that was also being compared. It's a comparative analysis that's now being brought forth between the U.S. and Israel. What she as soul has done is to honor both sides of those conflicts. There is one side that's in the right, correct? Do we not see where this is going to help us to analyze our vision of what changes are made on the soul level with Brenda when she writes down those visions and puts them in the public sphere versus those of us who know she receives wisdom about people and things in society that most would be amazed and astonished by. You are not the only soul in your vision that loves who you are. When people say that Biden and Netanyahu are in alliance, it is not in the same vibration in which it is portrayed here in the news. Do you feel the vibration of soul as it is coming through from their friendship as a soul versus their partnership as a soul? We partner in unity against terrorism is where they are, knowing full well that most know the man as he was is not in alignment with Netanyahu's current policies of conviction. Now, what that states is that this is the nature of why soul vision can become very disaligning of certain souls, because they want to hear the straight dope of what's going to come, and others will say, I don't even dare predict it because of the nature of where Brenda goes. Brenda hears the murders of the children and the families and those who were devastated from both sides. She hears from the tragedies and the triumphs of such souls. In unity, we create. In division, we change. Do you see the difference in the tone and the vibration of those two aspects of soul and how we word our wisdom? So when people can say we're creating a dynamic between Biden and Netanyahu that is in collusion with another soul who Brenda was indeed hearing from, which was the vision of Anwar Sadat. Now, his name was being brought up several times in her vision yesterday as she was caretaking the hearts of many upon the screen from various planes of love, of worship. She's not of worshiping any one soul over another. Does that tell you something about who she is? So you see, the neutrality vision is not who she is. She's not for terrorism. She's for peace. How we bring about the peace is where many are aligning. So this mechanism of change is the vision in which we allow ourselves the ability to see different vibrations of who we are as souls. So I can agree to partner against terrorism and still understand those who are in the vision of I need to create it in order to get my point across. Does it mean it's right for all of us? No way, Jose. Does it mean it's in honor of anyone else on this plane? You would be surprised how many people are assuming Anwar Sadat was of change when he was indeed more of I want peace first and foremost on the soul level. He has his brutal confessions he could come through with about where he was in his mind versus what he portrayed in the vision of the love of self and others. He was hoping to be condemned by those of peace in his mind because in essence, he says, my mind is not made up yet whether I can trust the vision of Jewish settlers to be free enough in their minds to see why we might have been able to work together in a different vision of peace moving forward had I not been slaughtered at the hands of another. Do you see how many souls who are of peace and trying to work things through in a way that benefits both sides is often seen as an issue in this world we vibrate in? So when we talk about the changes are coming, these are the ones that will be portrayed upon the screen, because they're basically those that are set in stone for the most part at a certain point. Those calamities of soul are often the ones that get portrayed on the screen, and that's a soul level vision that it has been explored before about why those can indeed come through ahead of time, versus my life is coming to me in the beauty of who I am. And this is where my soul knows how to take me in those moments of freedom or desperation. And that's where people are saying these ideas are that it's about war. And in essence, as a collective, we've already discussed the nature of how we stabilize society is how we focus on those areas where there is not war, but where there is peace. The same can be said in the nature of the peace within. Why do you think Brenda is able to bring through those souls that don't align with her in their minds on this plane? It's because on a soul level, she's attracted those souls who love the nature of what soul vibration really is. And when you arise in the vision of it, you don't fear who they are. You understand the nature of conviction. You understand the nature of changes are making themselves known. This is where people realize that no matter what we do or say, there are changes afoot. We vibrate in the beauty of experience, knowledge, guaranteed wisdom, right? That's part of it. Notice the repeat in it. Wisdom. Wisdom. There's a difference between those who vibrate in the beauty of I've got wisdom at hand and knowledge in the mind. This is where we go. We align with those who align with our minds most often. And yet it's the peace process that many are wishing for, all of us on this plane, whether or not people want to believe that or not. There are those souls who understand why we're talking about peace when in essence war is afoot. And then we can go in and see what's the duty of Biden and Netanyahu at this point. They have a duty to protect the people from the terrorist is the ultimate aim that they are aiming for, even on that highest level of love. It's known what they are doing and why they're doing it and how they're doing it and the results that come from it. And the wisdom that can be disseminated for all of us will be done so in time. They have their plans that they are making. They're utilizing weapons of control of the media as well as the minds of others around them to see the beauty of what they disparage in others and relate to in others. They have the conundrum of critique upon their hearts, and they know that they have to cherish the wisdom of uniting in a vision of freedom from terrorists, because that's a theme playing out in Biden's world. It's his unity vision that he's working with. So he's trying to unite with those who can see a path to peace rather than the vibration of war, even though that is the nature of where we are. He needs to know where that path of peace resides. And this is why he often comes into Brenda's wisdom to say, what is your opinion about our path to peace? You would be surprised how high she goes in the vision of what his soul wants. He wants to vibrate in the vision of those of control of the past. Those souls are being honored for their wisdom of knowing that they were the peacemakers of our hearts, and they deserve to be honored. And when they say that, it's Brenda's honoring of those souls who tried their best, but were dishonored for trying to bring peace where peace didn't exist.